All right, welcome back to The Explainer. So, I want you to imagine the most insanely punishing, brutal role-playing game ever created. A game called Pangania. Now imagine if that game violently, and I mean violently, merged with our real world. Today, we're breaking down the ultimate reality merge exploit. Let's dive right in. Listen, this isn't your run-of-the-mill VR fantasy setup. In Pangania, if you die, your character is permanently deleted. You lose literally everything. But when the border between the game and reality shatters, the stakes become infinitely higher. Because if your character dies in the game, your physical body drops dead in the real world. No respawns, absolutely no second chances.
Okay, Section 1. Trapped in the game. From real-world loser to max-level slave.
Meet our main guy, Hyun. Out here in the real world, he's, well, kind of a complete washout. He was recently dumped, he's unemployed, and he's basically been locked in his room grinding Pangania for 5 straight years. But in the game, the guy is an absolute god. See, Pangania gives you soul points every single time you die, and Hyun has died and restarted so many times he's amassed millions of points. He uses them to create this ultimate, totally busted character with maxed out attributes and 99 hidden talents. But right as he hits start, his screen flashes blood red, and boom! He wakes up inside the actual game as a slave in a desert caravan facing immediate execution.
220. Now, what does that mean? That is his starting score in the survival ranking. It's an absolutely unprecedented, game-breaking number in the Pangania Hall of Fame. It basically proves that despite waking up in chains with a literal whip to his back, Hyun is secretly the most overpowered being in the entire starting zone.
So picture this. He's surrounded by 500 highly hostile mercenaries. A regular player? Dead meat. But Hyun, who's now going by his character named Randolph, instantly triggers hidden talents like Monarch's Heart and Master of Arms. He just effortlessly slaughters the guards, reading their physical weaknesses like he's following a walkthrough. Then comes the real threat, Isabella, the Snake Princess. She's a level 8 entity, which is basically a raid boss compared to his level 1 status. But here's the kicker. Randolph knows her lore perfectly because he's the one who created her build. He totally bluffs her, claiming to be a star-bearer who can cure her royal curse. She completely buys it, effectively making the deadliest boss in the entire desert his own personal VIP escort.
Moving on to Section 2. Monsters invade the real world. The border shatters.
You'd probably think surviving the desert was the hardest part, right? Well, scratch that. Randolph discovers he actually unlocked a log out feature just by breaking that survival record. So he logs out, totally expecting to escape back to his miserable but safe real life. Instead, he wakes up to blaring disaster sirens. The border between reality and Pangania has completely collapsed. He looks out his window, and what does he see? Giant, bloodthirsty game mantises literally slaughtering people in the streets of modern-day Korea.
The world is descending into absolute chaos as these monsters wipe out global cities left and right. But humanity does have one defense, these mysterious golden scales that allow players to synchronize with their overpowered game avatars in real life. Hyun suddenly realizes his game inventory actually came with him, so he summons Michaela's sword, obliterates a giant mantis to save a family, and manages to keep his identity completely hidden. But the world's top alliances definitely take notice. They realize this mysterious powerhouse simply has to be Spectre, the legendary mythical player who originally controlled the continent's strongest character, Wilhelm, the King of Knights.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Star's Successor. Cleaning the constellation.
To survive this crazy merged reality, Randolph knows he desperately needs more power, so he dives right back in to claim a hidden class. He tricks Isabella into taking him to the highly lethal desert sanctuary and basically flawlessly cheeses the entire dungeon. First, he bypasses an invisible trap bridge using his mutated vision. Second, he literally just kicks back and lets the level 8 Isabella violently tear the high-rank golem defenders to shreds. Third, when this massive mountain guardian attacks, Randolph casually speaks its true name, activating a hidden lore contract that forces the beast to bow. And finally, he steps into the lethal flames of a fallen goddess's star, absorbing all its immense energy.
His reward for all this? The ultimate hidden class, Successor of the Stars. And guys, this class is ridiculously overpowered. It grants massive stat boosts, sure. But its broken secret ability allows him to read the memories and temporarily access the combat skills of the star's previous owner. And guess who that was? His own previous max-level character, Wilhelm the God of War.
Randolph is basically hacking the game from the inside out to reclaim his former godlike glory.
All right, Section 4, the Golden City. Deals in Arcana.
So, with his new class secured and Isabella freed from her curse, and, by the way, now magically sworn to serve him for a year, they travel to Arcana. It's this glittering metropolis where money is quite literally the only law. The problem? They are completely broke. So, what does Randolph do? He strolls right into the highest-stakes casino, drops a priceless artifact as collateral, and leverages his hidden Blessing of Gold trait at the roulette table. In mere minutes, he cleans out the casino for over 1.5 million gold. He literally bankrupts them and breaks the city's entire economy in one go.
This absolutely insane stunt lands him a face-to-face with the casino's owner, Hudson. But Hudson isn't just your average NPC. He's actually a real-world player who got trapped in the game years ago. His fiancée, Serengeti, who, fun fact, was Wilhelm's former right-hand knight, lost her legs and fell into a cursed coma during a massive raid. Hudson has been desperately hoarding all this wealth just to buy enough influence to keep her safe. Recognizing his incredible loyalty, Randolph promises to cure Serengeti.
Section 5. The Epic Monster Wave. Awakening the God of War.
But of course, things never go smoothly. Right before he can cure her, absolute disaster strikes. Due to some highly corrupt officials neglecting basic maintenance, the city's teleportation portals violently collapse into the void, unleashing an apocalyptic wave of monsters directly into the streets. Civilians are being slaughtered everywhere. Then Randolph gets a terrifying system alert. They have exactly 10 minutes to destroy 3 portals before a mutated hybrid boss spawns and annihilates the entire city. It's a completely impossible, unwinnable scenario. So they split up, but Randolph, he takes the absolute hardest task for himself. The level gap here is insane. Randolph is only level 4, and he's facing off against an elite hybrid mutant known as the Black Warrior at the final portal. He has less than 30 seconds to solo a boss that normally requires a 20-man max-level raid team. The odds of survival? Basically absolute zero. But remember, Randolph is a master strategist. First, he cashes in a favor from some high-level druids to literally blast a crater straight through the monster horde. Reaching the Black Warrior, he forces an NPC priest to cast Prayer of Adoration on him, which is this insane sacrificial buff meant only for a goddess. For 2 brief seconds, Randolph's stats just absolutely skyrocket to maximum. Tapping into his star successor memories, he channels Wilhelm's ultimate sword art, Cleaver of Heaven and Earth. In one magnificent world-ending strike, he splits the sky, the boss, and the portal right down the middle. It is epic.
Section 6, Journey to Crenell, the Invincible Fortress. With the city saved and Serengeti stabilized, Randolph knows he's going to need a lot more firepower if he's going to face the 8 heroes who betrayed him in his past life. To get that power, he needs to go recruit his neglected assassin character, Isaac. The problem? Isaac is hiding out in Crenell, the ultimate city of monsters. It's an invincible fortress ruled by the terrifying White King. If a human sets foot in Crenell, they are instantly devoured on sight, no exceptions. So how on earth does a human get inside? Well, Randolph uses this brilliantly grotesque game exploit. First, he hunts down a dungeon boss, the Corpse Crow, and extracts its dark, mutated core. Then, using his hidden gluttony trait, he actually devours the core, forcing his own body into a physical evolution. He literally rewrites his biology to mimic a monster perfectly. Throwing Isabella into a high-level dragon armor set to disguise her, the two of them just casually board a ship filled with level 8 and 9 nightmare creatures, sailing straight through the front gates of the monster city.
And that brings us to a massive cliffhanger. I mean, can a fragile human, hiding behind a stolen monster's biology, truly survive and recruit his greatest assassin in a fortress where one wrong look means instant death? You'll have to keep diving into the lore to find out. The reality merge exploit is just getting started, guys. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.